Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like we have some guys that listen to Hitting the Bars podcast. I'm pretty proud.
A couple. And shout out to you guys. We appreciate you.
Shout out to the guys. Welcome back to Hitting the Bars podcast. You're with your host, Savannah. You can call me Sav, Savvy Wavy. And I'm with the lovely, beautiful Canadian orange hoodie gal, Keltie.
Thank you. It is Orange T-shirt Day today, so I'm wearing an orange hoodie here in Canada.
Wait, what do you mean Orange T-shirt Day? Is this a thing you do in Canada?
It's I want to make sure I say it's a newer holiday, so I want to make sure I say the exactly
It's a holiday?
Correct. Yeah. Truth and Reconciliation Day. So it's for pay respect to the Indigenous, like all the residential schools, and just like
cool.
Yeah. So we just came out with it. Canada has. A lot of North America has some shady past. Without getting into that, we did some bad stuff. And so, today is a national holiday. It means a lot to me. I have some very close friends with a lot of Indigenous ancestry, and they would not be here today if it weren't for them. So anyway, I can just celebrate it. And so, I'm wearing a big orange to represent. It's a weird one because I want to celebrate, but it's not a happy holiday. But you know what I mean? But I want to celebrate for them because we love our Indigenous people and we should give back. But Anyways, that's why I'm wearing orange. And it's also Halloween. What a perfect combo.
Ooh, it's our Halloween episode. Welcome, ya Halloween sluts.
Yes.
I've just been wanting to say that.
we were like, let's make this the sluttiest Halloween episode ever. But also, we got a little bit of a slutty, some secrets and whatnot of Halloween. Because that's also part of the fun of Halloween. You can be funny.
Oh, absolutely.
You can be wild. Or you can just you know what? I feel like being slutty today. I want to walk around in a bra, so I'm going to walk around in a bra.
Name what this is from. This quote. In the real world, Halloween is when kids dress up in costumes and beg for candy. In girl world, Halloween is just one day a year when a girl can dress up like a total slut and no other girls can say anything else about it.
If you don't know this, you just were not born in the same generation as us. That's the Lindsay Lohan, Mean Girls. You know, it's so funny.
Caddy. What?
Before you even said guess this movie, I was like, it's gonna be a Mean Girls. It's that iconic. I knew before you even said it.
I heard a rumor that they're coming out with the second one. I don't know if it's true. I really hope so. From time to time, I do creep on Lindsay Lohan and see what she's up to.
Yeah.
And also, side note, Hocus Pocus 2 is out on Disney Plus. Were you a Hocus Pocus girl or no?
Not. It
Clearly
wasn't.
No.
It's one of those things. I don't think it was as popular here in Canada. I never really crossed my path when I was younger. So versus it playing on television and stuff I don't know. It's just some Canadians are screaming, but I just feel Americans have such more of a passion towards it than I hear Canadians talk about it.
Wow. I'm very disappointed in you. Michael has never seen Hocus Pocus, and every time, every Halloween, the seventh Halloween together, the man, we're always okay, we're going to watch it, and we always forget. We watch Halloween Town instead.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So, Hocus Pocus, though, is, my favorite Halloween movie, and I love the Sanderson sisters, and I truly cannot wait. I told my dad and my stepmom today, I'm we are going to watch Hocus Pocus 2 tonight. And my dad says, have fun with that. And he said, you're going to watch it. He said he hated the first one, and I was like, dude, no. I literally played this all the time. When we were with my brother, probably running around the house, having this on all the TVs. What are you talking about? You don't like Hocus Pocus.
That's why he hates it, because he had to watch it 300 times when you were little.
I can quote it. I love Sarah Jessica Parker. She's my favorite character on it. I'm a Halloween freak. For those that don't know that, I am a big, big Halloween girl.
We have that. Every year I almost get a ghost tattoo. Every year, because I get so excited. And one year I will do it. I know on my foot.
You should.
I 100% want to. I just love the little ghost emoji.
Where are you gonna get it?
That on my ankle, I think has always been the plan.
I thought you were gonna say on my ass.
That too. Backup plan.
Yes, I love that. The little emoji of the ghost.
Not specifically the emoji, but that little cartoon image. That's how I decorate my place. Little ghosts, and we will get into it. But also shout out to my favorite costumes. But yeah, just the ghosts. I love spooky season. I love scary stories. The colors, everything. It is just the best season, spooky season.
Oh, I know. Growing up in Washington for fall was fantastic. You have the Halloween parties as a kid where you at school, after 1 or 2, you get to have a Halloween party where you dress up and And like there's all the fun decorations, and there's like the beautiful leaves falling. Like I am so lucky I grew up with seasons, because there's no seasons where I live anymore. And it just brings me great memories. And I want to like eventually go to Salem. Like I want to go to all these places. I love that kind of thing.
I would come with you. Next year, let's do a Halloween special. Go somewhere and do all that kind of stuff.
Yes. I think it'd be so fun.
I don't know. So into it.
Halloween is like my favorite holiday, and I think it's because when I was growing up, the big holidays were almost daunting because my parents had split. And so like I always had this fear of like I'm going to upset the other if I spend Christmas with another one. So I always had this like it would loom and like linger over me for Christmas and Thanksgiving of like who's going to get split with me. So I loved Halloween because there's no pressure with it. And you can just have fun. You can have a Halloween party if you want, or you can just stay home and watch Halloween movies. You can eat candy. There's just that's a dark but truthful reason why I love Halloween.
It's self-aware, so that's what I like of that. And but I think that's just why Halloween is the best holidays. And come Christmas, I'm gonna be like, Christmas is the best holiday, so I'm about to eat my words. But Halloween, and you could debate St. Patty's Day, the best part about them is it's just literally fun. That's the whole point of it. It's just candy, drinking, partying, trick-or-treating. It's like no pressure.
No expectation.
It's just fun. And you get to make it how you want. Like Christmas, there's a Christmas aesthetic. There's an Easter aesthetic. Halloween's like, you want to be a chicken? Be a chicken. Like, you know what I mean? I love it. And I love the colors, everything about it, the season. And I wonder if it's just definitely where we're from too, of like Northwest, the fall leaves. Like we truly get fall. Even Edmonton is unreal in fall. Vancouver, I was just walking and it's so green, but then like everything turns like the color. It's magical. And there's just an air of like mist, and it's very, I think we said this last episode, like twilighty. That's like actually like this is where Twilight was filmed, in BC. You know what I mean? So you just feel like that mood. You're like in it.
Is Forks in BC?
Or I feel where let me Google, but I swear some of
Forks
Twilight
is in Washington, man.
Was it? Maybe.
Yeah,
it was there. Where was Twilight?
Can't believe you tried to take Twilight away
Portland,
from us.
yeah,
We don't
you're
have
right.
a lot to offer, but we have Twilight and we have Sleepless in Seattle. So come on.
Okay. In my defense, 3 of the 4 movies, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn, were shot in various locales around Vancouver and the Lower Mainland. So I think the first one was filmed in Portland, and then I think they moved it up to Vancouver. I think that's what happened. So we're both right.
Okay. Isn't it funny though? Because like whenever I meet people that they're like, I'm like, I'm from Seattle originally. Like, like Twilight, Washington, Twilight. And they're like, is it actually that gloomy? And I'm like, yes, it is. Especially Forks, that area is very, very gloomy. The La Push area, I don't even know how people surf there. It's so cold and gloomy.
Okay, I just went into it and figured it out specifically. So it is set. The show is set like in Washington. That's where it's set. The first one was filmed in Forks, Portland. Then they moved up to Vancouver. That's what happened. So
okay.
No wonder.
So
No wonder
we're right.
We were both right. And
I was like, don't take this away from me.
But you can tell both places like hold it like. But we were the place at Twilight. We both have that. Like it's a stamp of pride.
Exactly.
But
it's also like not something to gloat about because it's low key shows it's cold and depressing all the time. Like it's so dark that vampires can live there. Like that's not something to be like prideful of, honestly.
No, I'm translucent right now. Like I am pale. Like you can see my veins.
Are you a vampire?
Maybe. But that's segues right into this episode though. Perfectly. Being a vampire, dressing up for Halloween. So I thought we'd start off small. We're just gonna do a few of like ranking best, predict some trends for the year. Let's start off with, what do you think are the best and worst Halloween candies?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
The worst Halloween candies is Almond Joys. That's just for an old person. I'm sorry, I cannot get behind them. I don't like the coconut thing. Snickers, over my dead body.
No.
There shouldn't be nuts with my chocolate.
No.
Especially if they're crushed. Like, it's one if I have to choke down some peanut M&Ms, but crushed, I can't. I'm upset, But the best ones, you're in awe, and I'll let you comment in a second. The best one is Kit Kats. Kit Kats are, dude, I literally have been going to the gym with my dad, and they have a candy bowl, and I steal every single day a tiny Kit Kat, and I eat it immediately. Nice. I love Kit Kats. What do you have to say about this?
I respect a Kit Kat, but it's a very mid tier for me. Like when I'm getting, it will always get eaten 100%. You give me a Kit Kat, yes, every once in a while will I buy it, but it's never the thing I'm trading for with my, like, you know what I mean? With your siblings, you trade to get the best one. Definitely not. So I will say the worst Halloween candy, but I'll still eat it. I don't think there's any I won't eat, but a Tootsie Roll. A Tootsie Roll.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
But, like, the lollipop ones are kind of good. The lollipop with Tootsie Roll inside, that's an elevated.
How many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll? Or bottom of a...
Whatever they're called.
Is it a Tootsie Roll? How many licks does it take to get to the bottom? A Tootsie Pop. And it was always a cute little pelican. That's a 90s thing. Yeah.
That's very... So, that... And then I will say the complete opposite. Just anything with chocolate, peanut butter, nuts combo, that's like tier 1. Reese's Cup? Yes. Uh-huh. Oh, Henry? Okay. Yes. Reese's Pieces? Yes. Snickers? Yes. And I had the best case scenario because my brother is deathly allergic to peanuts. So, and because I was the older sister, I would just collect all my candy and then I'd take all the bottom ones and be like, hey, I'll trade you for all your O. Henrys and Reese Cups. And I got them. And it was marvelous.
And he doesn't have a say because he has to because he can't eat them.
But then he got older and he got smart. He's like, no. You're giving me the Sour Patch Kids fuzzy peaches. And then you have my, and I really had to think about it. I was like, ooh, Sour Patch. That is a tough bargain, but worth it. Reese Cups.
What's an O. Henry?
O. Henrys are
I'm sure they're here, but what's an O. Henry? I don't.
It's like it's got like nougat, caramel, peanut, chocolate dip. It's the big yellow bar. Yours, okay? There's a couple things that we have that you also have. Like you call it a Milky Way, we call it a Mars bar.
Oh yeah, ooh, I do love Milky Ways.
Yeah, O. Henry.
But I feel like they're so rich, you can only have like one.
Can't relate.
Did you ever though? Like the best thing was you'd get your candy. And then your mom would put them in your little lunch bin for school. Like my mom would like give me 2 Milky Ways or something like that was my lunch candy was like for a month straight. I had Halloween candy of just like here. And yeah, because I have a brother. So we would like trade off what candies we want. He liked the Snickers. I didn't, like things like that. Fond memories. Do people still trick or treat? Anyone listening with children, do you trick or treat with them? Because I feel like for a long time, it was almost like people were too scared to trick or treat because they're like, this is a foreign candy bar that we're giving people. Like, you don't know, right? Like, my neighbors used to give me cookies. Yeah. So that's fair. Like, that is a stranger giving you a cookie. But my neighbor was like this cute 90-year-old woman that I knew for years. So I knew she wasn't, going to poison me. Yeah. But it's very fair to be a little scared of trick or treating.
Yeah. I remember you always had to like sort through and you'd always feel so bad because we like... The likelihood, like we lived in a like friendly neighborhood, everyone knew each other, but then like you'd sort it and anything was handmade unless you distinctly were like hand given it from someone you knew, you had to throw it out. Yes. You always felt so bad because it was like always the older people that just didn't know.
Totally.
And just like you wanted to eat that one even more, but you're just like, we just can't risk it because some psychopaths out there want to harm children. Like, also I just Googled, I believe, this blows my mind, I'm bringing you one. O. Henry is Canadian. That
you have to bring me one.
Unbelievably proud in this moment to be Canadian. That is our legacy. It is such a good chocolate bar that I was like, I won't lie. Like we have a couple other ones that I'm like, like Smarties. I'm sorry, they're just M&Ms, but they're a little different, like stuff like that. But my God, an O. Henry, that is. But you don't like nuts and chocolate, so actually you'll hate it. So it's it's good. It's good. But anyways, those are the top.
Have you ever had a whatchamacallit?
Yes.
I love those. I haven't gotten one in years, but those were bomb.com. You can't get them Halloween shopping, but every now and then a store would have a whatchamacallit, and I was like, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things when I come to the States and I see stuff like that, I'm like, I'm going to try this. So I know I've tried them, but I don't even remember what's in them.
Or a Kinder Bueno bar is fantastic.
Stunning.
I love Kinder. We don't have that around really. Like you can buy them. But like Seattle, you would not find Kinder. And like maybe I could be corrected because I haven't been there in a while, but I did not grow up with Kinder. It was like my uncle from Germany would bring me Kinder. And now it's kind of getting more normalized here, but
they're everywhere here. Because it's like, I don't know, there's a couple of weird ones like that, but for whatever reason, you guys don't get it, Canada gets it. So if you ever want Kinder, I got the plug. We got plenty
Puerto
of
Rico
Kinders.
has it.
Ah.
And they have like fun flavors with Kinder. Like you can get Kinder ice cream. If you guys are ever in Puerto Rico, go to San Juan and something called Anita's. It's this gelato place that is phenomenal, and they give you a million samples. They're so friendly, and they have like this amazing Kinder flavor of gelato, and I love it. And they like have sprinkle stuff on it. It's so good.
So good. So good. Okay. Shifting. So we've covered the candy, the sweet sugar. The next most important part, the costume. Now, first of all, what is the best and worst Halloween costume you've ever worn?
Best costume last year was Cruella de Vil. And it's easy. You get a wig and you put on like red lipstick, heels, black dress. So you get all of that together, compile it, Amazon, a wig is like $15, whatever it may be. There you go. Boom. You're Cruella de Vil. You're roped in with Emma Stone. I think it's Emma Stone that does it. I just love that movie, the new Cruella de Vil. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, so I was her. Michael and I every year have this tradition where we throw a Halloween party. And so in Huntington Beach, every single year we would do it, and we would have like fun decorations, fun drinks. I not a good host, but I just love Halloween, and he plays into it with me because it's my favorite holiday. So we usually are like a couple's costume. He didn't want to be a Dalmatian last year, so he was nothing. And I think the worst one I ever did was I made us vampires, but I only bought two white out contacts, and he couldn't get the contact in his eye because he doesn't wear them, where I just slapped mine in. So it was very half-assed, and our fangs fell out, but it was still really fun. And I love having any fun. I'm not a humor girl on Halloween. I want to be the slutty girl. I think it's so fun to dress crazy, and that's my vibe. What is yours?
I love it. So my worst was one year I dressed up as a mermaid, and I hand did it. And it took me so long. And I will say, I was so proud of it. I bought a bra, and then I bedazzled it. And I went to a fabric store and got this green. And it was beautiful. And I felt hot. And it was amazing. And I was bartending until I realized, how the hell are you supposed to bartend in a mermaid skirt? So I couldn't really walk. So I ended up literally cutting it. I just was I can't walk. So I just cut the tail. I was I can't work in this condition. So it was great look, bad execution, in the sense that it was very, very impractical. Okay. So that was a life lesson. And then my favorite, I've done this one 3 times, and I think I will forever do this costume until I die, because I love it so much. I don't know if you remember last year, I just go as a ghost. But the old school, just you buy a sheet and you just cut it out and you just go as a ghost. And there's something so funny about it, stands out so much, and it just looks like I broke the Matrix. You know what I mean? You're just in this blub. It's just this big white ball, a sheet going around. And it's and because of what I'll do is I can't drink, so I have to drink through the eyes. So just it is a funny image.
Why don't you put a mouthpiece?
I usually do, but then I'll show you this here. It doesn't look good when there's the mouthpiece, because then there's the mouthpiece. I draw on the mouthpiece, but if my mouth was there, it's not the same. So I got to do that. But then I usually wear a slutty ghost costume underneath, and so it's a nice change of position. I don't know something about it.
Slutty ghost. What does it look like?
I just wear all white, and then I just write on my boobs. I write the eyes, and then so I just get an all white outfit, and then so underneath, and when I get bored of it, I'm boom, slutty, and then I'm funny, and I just swap between them depending on my mood throughout the night. So
I love that. What do you do on Halloween? Do you go out with your friends? What do you do?
Oh yeah, ideal situation. I love just going to the club, and it's such a funny the bar or restaurant, anything that you're drinking, and it's just a whole bunch of. I love seeing people trying to pick each other up, or you know what I mean? Seeing guys pick up girls in the funniest costume. It's so good. It's the funniest people watching in the world. And then just you see Princess Peach dancing with a dragon or something. You know what I mean? It's just always just the wildest stuff you see. So I love going out on Halloween so much. How about you?
That's awesome. Well, we usually do the Halloween party.
Oh yeah,
because I am someone that doesn't like going out on Halloween. So I'm like, I'll bring everybody to me. This year, we're hoping we can be in our house so we can host it. A lot of our friends are like, let's have a Halloween party. But since we don't have the house yet, we're like on pause. Like, I haven't even thought about our costumes, which usually I plan. Because I try to always have Michael and I correlate, and then Bentley. So somehow he is in the mix, right? So that's always hard. But back in college, at our college, it was a crazy party school, Washington State University. And they had something called Hollow Week. So every single day of the week, you dressed up as something. There'd be themed parties. Or you just like go out and, you know, it's just an excuse for college kids to drink. But we would plan it with my sorority. All of us would plan like to match each other. And I think the best one we did was drink 1, drink 2, drink 3. So like we were thing 1, thing 2, thing 3, like in Dr. Seuss. But our friend was really crafty and she made a red shirt and put like, and I'm sure we got it off of Pinterest, like the idea, and like designed it as thing 1, the design, but wrote drink 1. And then we spray painted our hair. So we were like these little minions running around. And it was funny because there were so many of us, like over 10 of us. And like you'd hop around and you'd always like find each other. And I just thought it was such a fun idea to do with your friends. It's just silly. It's easy. It's cheap. You go to Walmart, something like that, right?
Yeah. That is awesome. Oh, love it. Okay, now, next year, we'll have special effects assigned for the podcast. But this would be a perfect time to insert some, like, spooky music. Because I thought it'd be fun to talk about some scary stories. Do you have any ghosts, like, connections with ghosts or haunted or ever supernatural? Have you ever had an experience like that?
I did when I was a kid. Like, you know how you're more susceptible to, like... Yeah. You know, as children, They say that. Yeah. Like, you're more open to it. You're not as closed off to the spiritual world. When I was a little girl, it was so weird. Like, I'll never forget it. And I would see it multiple times throughout the years I was in my bedroom and I'd be going to sleep and I had like maybe a little night light that you could like still see around the room. And I would see these like, I don't even know, like 1800s, like men on horses, like that was like, I swear I would see ghosts and they would run through my room. And sometimes it was so loud, it'd wake me up and I would just see them in slow motion. These like, and that sounds so weird. There's like the 1800s, but like, I just like, when I was a kid, I would tell my mom, like, oh, that's what I would see at night. Or like, oh, they came again today. And she'd be like, what? Like, I don't even know if she remembers that. But, I would just tell her about the stories of these people I would see on horses and things like that. Yeah. And she, I don't know if she ever thought into it. But now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I truly believe that these were ghosts and they were peaceful and that I would see them all the time. And then the older I got, I stopped seeing them.
Things as kids.
I either sound crazy or people are like, yeah, same.
It was like, we've all been, I feel like everyone knows that situation. It sounds like you're like, oh, you're probably dreaming or something like that. But at the same time, you're like, it was so real. Like, I remember having like a childhood stuffed animal that I would always see move. And I was convinced. And like, then I'd wake up and be like, oh no, like I did put it there. And for all I know, I was a kid and my mom moved it and I put two together. But I would like go to bed and I'd put it there and I'd wake up and it was somewhere else. And I'd be like,
oh, that is weird.
Yeah. But I got to tell my spooky story.
Yeah, tell me.
'Cause it's weird. So, and I'm not usually someone to do something like this. And I hope this is dumb. I don't think it's even still open. But there's a haunted hospital in Edmonton, Alberta. This is where spooky music needs to come on. It was abandoned like 40 years ago. I looked into it. No one really knows. Just one day, they closed it down. And no one could buy the property to it. It's too expensive, and still there. Or at least it was when I was in high school. And so around October, there got to be this like challenge of people would go and try and stay as long as they could in this haunted, abandoned hospital. So there's all these rumors about it. Now, it was fenced off and there was a security guard always walking around. So you had to wait till they walked around and then you bolt in and try to get in. And normally like that kind of stuff, I'm not about. Like, I don't know, something about, I don't mind the idea of like forest spooky stuff like that, but something about like abandoned hospital, like that's just
people die there,
psychopath.
For sure.
And especially it was like a long time ago, so the medical practices were not safe. Like they had a psychiatric ward and all this. So we went in and it was so spooky. So now there's these stairs and like in the stairs, obviously kids would go party. So it's sort of like, well, we went to every place and like we went to the psychiatric ward and it was everything you think of, like shock chairs and like all that, like, and it was abandoned and It was just
shock
50-year-olds.
chairs?
Like those chairs, like, you know,
Yeah,
electric
you would
shock.
see
They used to
those?
do-
They didn't
so
remove
they had
them? What?
No, because like this hospital, they just left. They just left as
So
it
their
was. One day it
beds,
was
like
gone. Everything was there. There was old paperwork around like everywhere, because obviously people would go in there and like it was private property, so I was illegally trespassing. But this is a story. Police, wink, wink,
get
wink,
Keltie.
wink, 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 wink. Anyways, so and there was like paper over, so obviously young dumb kids would run in there and go through the drawers and rip it out. And I remember being oddly fine with it. Like I was not scared at all, even though this was like the spookiest thing. We like went down into this group of like 5 of us with like flashlights, and like I was just kind of like, you know what, maybe I'm just like really into this stuff. Like I said, I'm like chill, I'm fine. And we went to like the top floor, and this was the weirdest floor because this was the one that was predicted to be haunted. It was empty.
Okay.
It was just one chair, but everyone would always say you could see this like outline of a person from outside.
Okay.
But we went and you don't see anything, and I just remember being like, yeah, okay, this is what it is. And everyone was like, let's go to the boiler room. And which you have to leave. You have to go outside and go in another space and go down to this boiler room. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling confident. We all go down. We go to the boiler room. And suddenly I'm frozen before we go in this boiler room. Remember, we had to get out of the hospital, go away to it, to go downstairs. And it looked actually pretty well kept. Like, it looked like the most modern part of it. It was brightly kind of lit. It was like, and I was like, I can't. And I can't describe this feeling I had. I was like, I can't do this. I cannot go down. And it was like all my fear suddenly just like came to me. And I was just like suffocating. I was like, I have to go. We have to get out of here. Like, I can't be in this boiler section. Like, this is too creepy. I don't do this kind of stuff. And everyone was like, okay. And as we drove away, it's funny. You see the outline, like in this top window, you kind of see this outline. I don't know if it is the shadow from the chair, but you can see it, this like rumored outline. So I put this story in the back of my head. I felt kind of bad. I trespassed, snuck out from home. And a week later, I was like, I can't lie to my mom because I lied about where I was. And I was like, I just got to open up. And so I told her, I was like, okay, Mom, I trespassed in this haunted hospital. And she's like, this is which hospital? Like, whatever the name is. She's like, oh, you didn't know. I was like, no, what? She's like, your grandma used to work there. My grandma, who I never met, who died before I was born, or like died when I was really, really young, worked in the hospital and on the top floor. And like, all I can say is it was so weird that I was so comfortable this entire time. But the second I was in a spot that I like, and I'm not like this, I would be petrified. But the second I went into the boiler room, somewhere where my grandma never would have stepped foot, I froze. And then it was like all this fear suddenly came and I couldn't handle it. But it was just weird of like that I felt completely at home, safe. And I had no idea my aunt, because we were kind of separated from that side of my family a little. I didn't even know what she did for a living. I didn't even know she was a nurse.
Wow, that is crazy. She was definitely watching over you.
I know, that's how I felt. I was like, and in that moment, I was like, oh, that's, especially like top everything. I was like, my grandma, she was there the entire time with me. That's how, yeah.
Maybe it was her too that was saying, get out of the boiler room.
Oh, maybe
before you
step foot down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was just my sense. That's how it felt. Like it suddenly my sense came. I was just no longer with her, and then it was just like regular Keltie being like, "This isn't safe." Like
that is crazy. You also got to wonder, like, how old were you when you did that?
17.
So it's like, looking back, like, would you do that now? Would you sneak into this? No. Then I'm like, why were we were so curious when we were young.
Yeah.
And we like don't think of like the repercussions of that, or I don't know, maybe we're not educated enough. Like, I'm very spiritual, so like it would freak me out that like, you know, a spirit would attach to me or something. So like, it's just interesting because when you're young, you're like, you go to graveyards, like you do all these crazy things, and you're like, why? Like, you look back at it and you're like, what? Why did I do that?
I wonder if it's the peer pressure. I think it's a bit of like, all your friends have done it, so you hear it like directly, like the group in front of you did it, like all these people did it. All your friends like, come on. But when you're adults, no one's really egging each other because it's like, we got jobs and responsibility. So there's just something about just that shenanigans that you just kind of end up doing things you wanted. But is that good or bad? I don't know. I definitely should not have done that. But it makes
but we've all been there where you like, it's creepy, it's cool to go see. And I look back at that and I'm like, I would never do that now. I don't know why.
No. Even like just explaining it and just putting myself back in. I don't know how I walked in there. The psych ward was this, it was straight out of like Saw.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how you did that.
Nope.
But you have a cool story, so I'm glad you did it. And you came back good. You had your Grammy. There was, you know, I do have a story, now that I think of it, that's a good story from college. So at Washington State University, like, it's in the middle of wheat fields. There's not a lot of, like, development near the campus, like all of these homes are built years and years ago, and they don't remodel, they don't do anything because these college kids are willing to pay whatever to live near campus, right? There's no new builds. So we had about 4 girls from our sorority living in a house that was just down the street from me. This is like, we're seniors, so we live out of the sorority, but we go over there, you know, to hang out. My friend Kimber was living there the first semester, and she was pregnant. And no one knew except like a couple of us knew that she was pregnant. And we go over, and we had class, so we'd walk over together, and she would say that she got these creepy chills and thought she'd see things at night or hear things. And she would tell me this, and she's like, pregnancy brain, maybe I'm crazy, I don't know. Like, she's like, I don't know, I'm just whatever. So then she leaves that second semester to have the baby, and one of our friends, Hannah, moves in, and Hannah stayed in where Kimber was staying, and she said the same thing. And like, Kimber never told her about this because she wanted to rent her room. Like, it probably just didn't occur to Kimber. She was very much like, whatever, I'm sure it's a nice ghost. So Hannah staying there, and weird things start happening. Like, she's hearing things, lights are flickering, lights are going off, they're turning on randomly. So she said her TV would turn on randomly at night, her lights would randomly turn on, and it was like up in this room that nobody was staying at. Like, no one was on this floor where Kimber used to stay. It was almost like an attic. And there was another girl, Haley, that lived in the house, and Haley would like sleepwalk and sleep talk, and they would call it that, like, she was possessed. And it was so creepy to me. And Hannah was really good friends with my roommate, Jordan. So Jordan would tell me all these stories that Hannah was telling. And Hannah called me and was like, did Kimber ever experience this? And I was like, actually, yeah, she did. But like, nothing really happened. And then she left. And I was like, that's so weird. You're having these problems. So then Haley starts getting creeped out. This other girl starts getting creeped out in the house. They're all having these weird paranormal experiences of this old house. So they start sleeping in our sorority, like on the couch. They start trying to sleep anywhere besides this house. So Hannah calls up somebody that's supposed to like cleanse the house, like an exorcist of some sort. That's about an hour away. She calls her up, and she goes, okay, before I come down there, I need a picture of the house and any details of what you're going through. So she sends over the picture, and that woman said, I will not go there. She denied her money, sent it back, and said, I won't go there. You need to get out of that house. She said, there's something dark there, and I cannot help you. And
oh my God.
I have goosebumps thinking about it because I was so creeped out. I would not let Jordan have Hannah in like our home. I was like, Hannah cannot, like, I don't know if it is attached to her. I do not want this in my home. Like, you tell her she cannot come stay. Like, I'm so creeped out. And I don't know if that was really mean of me, but I was so creeped out by it. And like, I wouldn't even walk. It used to be a shortcut to go on their street. I wouldn't walk that way. I didn't want to see the house. I was so creeped out by this home.
That's so creepy.
The rest of the semester, they ended up, like, one girl got an apartment. The other one stayed at her boyfriend's. They didn't live in that house. But they paid the rent. Isn't that just like so creepy? Crazy. And like for the woman to be like that's her profession, and she's like, I won't go. Like, no. Yeah. Get out. That's my advice.
That's
so creepy.
Insane.
Yep.
Oh.
Is that heartless of me to be like, Hannah can't be in our home? Like, I was so scared.
You know, it's one of those, it's heartless, but when you're in it, no, you got to fend for yourself. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Like, would you do it?
Like, I would just be like, we're going to get you out of this. I was like,
oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, exactly. I would be like, we're going to bring you somewhere and we're going to get you fixed. But it's kind of like if your friend has a contagious disease. You're not going to be like, hey, I'm going to hug you right now. I'd be like, stay your distance, but I'm going to send you money, send you help, do everything possible. But this is out of my hands. So that's what you do.
Yeah. I just was like, I don't know where it's coming from. And it was so creepy that she was experiencing these things and calling Jordan. And I was like, I'm out. Lock the door. Nope. Nobody's coming in today. Don't ruin my good juju.
Heebie-jeebies summed up.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's go a little lighthearted now that you guys are all scared. And well,
creeped.
that's the fun part.
Campfire.
Now you're spooked and chills, but now we're going to bring it back to a bit more fun. What is your guess that's going to be the top costume of this year? Like when Suicide Squad was out, Harley Quinn, everyone. Like, what is going to be this year's Harley Quinn?
I could see something with like Stranger Things. You know? Ooh. Outer Banks.
I feel like Outer Banks is a good one.
Marvel's always popular. I feel like there's always Marvel ones, but I honestly have no idea. Do you have any guess? Mine is, I feel like Stranger Things is just popular right now.
Top Gun. Everybody's
Oh my God, yeah, I'm an idiot.
100%.
Top Gun. Or Elvis.
100%. Oh, yep. Both of those. Like, that's going to be through and through. I bet you those are the top 2 right there.
Also, Top Gun's pretty easy to do.
Exactly. It's a nice default.
Yeah. Also, if
like
a movie recommendation, off topic, but Purple Hearts on Netflix, it's like based where Top Gun is based out of in San Diego. Ooh. And it's really cute. You should watch it. The Sophia Carlson's in it. I think I don't know if that's her real name, like how to say it, but fantastic movie. I watched it on the flight. Was like, it's like a Dear John movie.
I like it. I like it.
Shed some tears, but it's good.
I love it. I've been saving Stranger Things and the new, what's the serial killer? It's on Netflix. The documentary just came out. The massive one. It's the, like, oh God, what is his name?
I can't watch that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's what I've been waiting. So that's I haven't seen it. Netflix. Oh, I spelled cereal like
eating cereal.
Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer. That one. I'm saving that and Stranger Things. We're not caught up for October specifically.
That'll be good.
I feel like super in that mood.
Absolutely.
Okay, then one more, and then we're going to have a confession session for you guys. But I thought we should leave everyone with like a spooky Halloween-themed cocktail drink recommendation. Do any come to mind? I got to go one.
Cocktail. Anything with dry ice to me is spooky.
Ooh,
Be
nice.
careful.
I like that.
Dangerous, dry ice.
Yes.
But you're the cocktail queen.
The use of dry ice is good. And mine's also going to be less of a cocktail and more of like a prop. I saw this on Twitter. I was like, oh, this is good. So get an IV bag. You can probably get them on Amazon or anything like that. Just think and fill it with red wine. So it looks like a blood. Do you know what I mean? Like, it looks but it's with red wine. And so you have that as part of your costume. And also how you get free alcohol into a place. You know what I mean?
Brilliant.
Have it as like part of your, like a nurse or something, be like, oh, this is just a part of my costume. Boom, free alcohol. And then, or you could just get any alcohol that's kind of the color of blood, but red wine, obviously.
True.
So there's my little trick for you guys.
I love that.
Also, the ghost costume is great because you could just hide anything under me.
Oh, truly.
I left, this was not good and I shouldn't do this, but sometimes I drink a lot, okay? And I'm not as responsible. I would just leave the bar with my drink. Like many times I'd have a pint and just walk out of the bar not realizing, just holding it. And I get to the next bar, walk into the next bar, still holding my drink from the last bar. Because I always bar hop on Halloween.
Yeah.
And just fully just checking my drink along. So unfortunately, I stole a couple pint glasses from some clubs in Toronto and Edmonton. But oops.
That's expected. I like it.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Also, then you'll have pints. Like, Michael and I, when we first moved to California, we would steal, glasses from breweries because we didn't have cups.
Oh, yeah. That's a college staple.
Absolutely. I would teach my stepmom to do it. She would bring a purse. And, I didn't even have to ask her. She'd just come and be like, hey, I got you some new glasses. I'm like, thank you. Perfect.
I love it. Me and my basketball team, that used to be a thing. We used to go to... I can't remember what the restaurant was in Edmonton, but they had cheap. Well, there was a specific night on Tuesdays. They had really good cheap wings, and they did these schooner of raspberry beers. So this massive pint glass, and they give you for it was $8. This massive thing, and they put raspberries in it. If it was depending on the flavor of it, because it was a local brew. But these glasses were unreal. So every week, one or two of us would steal in our purse. We had a full collection back in the dorm just from stealing these scooter glasses.
I love that.
Don't listen to us. This is bad advice.
Very bad advice.
You get kicked out and bar banned from that bar. That's the thing. Looking back, it's you could easily have gotten bar banned, but also worth it when I was young because I saved $10 on glasses.
$10 whole. Absolutely, I agree.
Just do it from a chain restaurant, not a mom and pop shop.
Exactly.
That's the trick.
Exactly.
McDonald's. Who cares?
If McDonald's had glasses.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a classy establishment?
Oh yeah, the classiest.
The classiest. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Loving it.
Yep. Okay, so I have our confession session from Katie.
Lay it on me.
And she said, this is my only claim to fame and had to live it down over 10 years ago. First day of freshman year and first swim practice. There was a brand new walkway on campus that used to be a road. They had just finished the construction on that morning, so it's a fresh walkway, okay? So the first part of practice, we had a 4-mile run. I don't run. I was the slowest, so the entire team was waiting for me at the finish line. About 20 feet from the finish line, I threw up on the new walkway. My coach made sure I was okay and said, "See you in the pool in 10 minutes. Thankfully, I had no issues during the swim. I was the very first person to throw up on the walkway, and probably one of the only sober ones, too. Love you ladies on the podcast."
Oh, we love it. I feel that in my soul, Katie. I feel that in my soul. That's...
Especially if it's like brand new and you can't wash it off, you just kind of leave it.
Oh, you're just like, it's there. I think I already told this story on the podcast after Safe Grad when I threw up at basketball.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think you did.
I'm going to connect with you real fast, Katie. It was when I was a freshman for college to go and play university, and I'd already been signed to the team, so they'd summer practice, so I was invited. But I never actually been on the team. It was like before, and it was just these open practices kind of thing that you'd show up for. And we were doing dry land training, so we were running on track. And it had been Safe Grad the night before, and I was like, I couldn't not, no, so it was grad, just not Safe Grad. I was like, I couldn't not go to grad and go to my grad party, but I also can't miss this. And it wasn't that important of a practice. It was like summer, but I was like, I just got to do both. And so I drank till like 5 a.m., got driven to the practice, didn't want to tell my coach, did it like, but some of the younger girls knew. And so and I still pushed myself, but I think I was like a couple laps in and I threw up. And then the coach had this whole thing. He's like, see how hard Keltie's pushing herself? She's pushing herself to the point of throwing up, because I was still running. Like I'm fast. That's my like one athletic feat, is I'm really fast. So I was still beating most people. And then I threw up, and everyone's sitting there getting yelled at because I was throwing up, because I was pushing myself. And they're like, she's freaking drunk. So half the people are fully aware, and they don't want to like call me out, because great teammates. But my coach is just like, see, great example. And they're all like, this motherfucker, she's just drunk.
I love it. That's amazing.
I've been there. I've been the only one throwing up as practice. So I feel you. I feel you there.
That's great. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you for coming to our Halloween-themed podcast. Let us know if you like it. We can do a themed one for Christmas. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that. Same kind of idea we do for all the seasons. And also, let us know what you guys are being. Send us pictures. Tag us in what you're being. If you're doing any costume, whether you're slutty or funny, we want to see them. We want to see some inspo, and maybe we'll like repost some on the stories and stuff like that.
Perfect. I love it. Well,
love it.
That being said, happy Hallows Eve, and we will see you later.
Bye-bye.